capital investment that you going to put in your project is minimum enough, but yet don't sacrifice the safety of the facilities. That's the only way that we can do. So we have to make sure that the development is fit for purpose. And then just now I think Prof. Iskandar were answering, though we think that EOR is good, but you have to wait on the economics of it, because implementing EOR, especially at brownfield, can be very high capex. So whenever you do your development, make sure that the development is fit for purpose. Don't overdo. Again, don't design gold-plated facilities, and you have to wait within the producing the facility. Producing the reservoir with high capex, or maybe the other options is to get it from other resources. That's what we did in Malaysia. Some of the resources we do extract from our facilities, but some also we do import from the outsiders, especially tapis. Our oil is considered as very good product. So it's better for us to sell to get the revenue, and some of the oil that we and gas we use in Malaysia are coming from the outside. So that would be something that you have to do when you venture into the business. Not only just produce whatever you have, but you have to look into the overall commerciality of our project itself. Okay, I answer for number one.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Nur Shahida. What about the other speakers? Mr. Zain, would you like to add some points of this question?
Yes, I think for the second question, how to avoid the causality, right? Causality in the, in the offshore platform. I think before we start the project, even in onshore and offshores, we need to follow the safety guideline, right? So every company has, safety procedures, safety guideline that we need to follow. So we need to conduct, some risk mitigation and also HSE evaluation, for every project that we have, and need to mitigate and prepare mitigation plan also.
Muda yang siap
So,
kerja dan
for
siap
example, if
untuk
you want to
menggapai
drill
masa
one
depan.
well, so the drilling engineer need to assess, what's the potential problem, drilling loss or potential
AKAMIGAS
whatever.
Balongan dengan SK Mendiknas nomor 167/0/2002 dengan segala potensi mengabadikan diri dengan penuh kesungguhan dalam menyimpan sumber daya manusia di bidang teknik perminyakan, fire and safety dan teknik kimia yang memiliki pengetahuan, keterampilan dan kemandirian secara profesional. Berdaya saing tinggi serta mampu menguasai teknologi sesuai kebutuhan dunia kerja, kebutuhan industri migas maupun petrokimia. Berdiri sejak tahun 2002, AKAMIGAS Balongan dengan jenjang program pendidikan D3 vokasional, teknik perminyakan, fire safety, teknik kimia dengan kesemuanya sudah terakreditasi B. Untuk menunjang semua kegiatan dan pembelajaran, tentunya AKAMIGAS Balongan secara maksimal memberikan fasilitas terbaik yang disiapkan. Di antaranya, lab satuan proses kimia biologi, kimia fisika dan kimia organik, lab peralatan safety, lab uji lumpur, lab kimia dasar, lab geologi dasar, lab analitik mikro, fireground, sarana olahraga, perpustakaan, lab fisika dasar, dan English Village. Dengan kenyamanan kota dan lalu lintas yang masih lenggang, kita bisa menikmati proses belajar dengan waktu ada di kampus juga bekerja sama dengan perusahaan dan lembaga.
We have carbon dioxide in huge volume when producing gas well. Actually,
Indramayu, kabupaten terluas di Jawa Barat yang membentang sepanjang pesisir pantai Pulau Jawa dengan keanekaragaman budaya dan sumber daya alam yang melimpah, bisa menjadikan kota ternyaman yang bisa menjadi kota terhibur. Minyak dan gas bumi perlu dikelola oleh tenaga kerja yang handal dan mempunyai skill dan safety profesional.
related to this question.
Untuk menunjang semua kegiatan dan pembelajaran, tentunya AKAMIGAS Balongan secara maksimal memberikan fasilitas terbaik yang disiapkan. Di antaranya, lab satuan proses kimia biologi, kimia fisika dan kimia organik, lab peralatan safety, lab uji lumpur, lab kimia dasar, lab biologi dasar, lab analitik mikro, fire ground, sarana olahraga, perpustakaan, lab fisika dasar, dan English village. Dengan kenyamanan kota dan lalu lintas yang masih lenggang, kita bisa menikmati proses belajar dengan konsentrasi penuh dan dengan tenaga pengajar yang 50% adalah tidak hanya memfasilitasi kesempatan kerja sesuai bidang dan kemampuan ilmu, meyakinkan AKAMIGAS
during the CO2 injection, right? The second question is related with the what do you call how to transport the CO2 into the field. So usually in US we have very good infrastructure, right? Because for example in Permian Basin, so we got the CO2 from New Mexico, call it from West Bravo Dome Reservoir, and they have a pipeline from New Mexico to the West Texas to transport the CO2. And usually we need a compressor to inject CO2 in the liquid phase, yeah. So in a pipeline. So if you have remote area, this is very critical just to understand how you transport the CO2 from the CO2 sources to the oil field. So this is something that you need to mitigate also, or evaluate, yeah, before you inject CO2 into the oil field. And this is related also with the economical aspect, right? Because to inject CO2, especially in remote area, I think you need huge investment because CO2 is a proven EOR technology, but the biggest challenge is how to implement it economically. In Indonesia is quite big challenge. Why? Because the first one, the oil field in Indonesia, especially belongs operated by Pertamina. They have a very small oil reserve, right? So to inject CO2, you need a huge capital investment, especially to upgrade, the facility. If your facility is already aging, yeah, or already become old because you already produce or inject for several years, so then you need to upgrade it. And the second big investment is related with the gas processing plant. After you inject CO2 and CO2 breakthrough to the offset, so you need to separate the CO2 from hydrocarbon gas. And this is a big investment to process it, because you need to have special membrane to process the CO2 from hydrocarbon gas. For example, when I work for Permian Basin, I think we need around $3 billion to build a gas processing plant with a capacity around 170,000 standard cubic feet per day. So you can imagine to build the gas processing plant with 3 billion. So how much reserve that you need to have? So that's the biggest challenge, to implement CO2 in the injection in the field. Plus, you need to have like some pipeline, yeah, to transport CO2 from the CO2 sources into the field. And the second biggest challenge also to implement it in Indonesia, mostly the pressure in Indonesia oil field. That's the biggest challenge, to implement it CO2 EOR in Indonesia right now.
Right. Thank you, Advance, Mr. Zain, for facilitate departure from standards that could not accurately cater to South China Sea's condition. Will facilitate a more precise strategic design of store facilities by adopt a systematic, integrated, non-conventional, and fit for the purpose approach strategy. Will be able to unlock and monetize the marginal fit project. Successful to implement EOR in offshore. Good understanding about the reservoir characterization condition, allow for the technology EOR task training, risk and uncertainty, prepare, set clear goals, clear technical leader, protect continuously, good facilities, project execute on schedule with the budget. Application of EOR helps upstream oil and gas to become resilient when facing Vuca. Equipping yourself with EOR 4.0 skill set is essential to thrive the oil and gas industry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the last agenda of today. it is closing. Before we close this event, I'd like to thank you in advance for the speaker for informative and interesting presentation, and also participants for very active in this webinar. Hopefully, this webinar will be beneficial for everybody. I am Muhammad Anton as the MC and the moderator today. I would like to apologize if we have some mistakes during the event. I am Muhammad Anton as the MC and moderator today. I would like to apologize if we have some mistakes during the event. Thank you for joining this event. I seriously appreciate your attention. And let's close this event by saying Hamdalah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the speakers and participants today.
Hidup ini telah kusinggahi banyak